And we are live. So I'm just going to remove myself.
Okay. Assalamualaikum, Omar and Ridwan. Welcome to Carefugees live session. How are you guys doing? Omar, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah,
Good.
and Ridwan?
Walaikum salam. Thanks, Mrs. Azri. I'm so good. I'm happy to join with you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Welcome
you so
to
much.
whoever's tuned in, to Carefugees live session tonight. And tonight's all about refugee education. We mentioned last week that Carefugees is planning to step up our education arm a little bit more this year. We've been involved in the education program for refugees since 2014, one way or another. And last year we thought that let's go a little bigger into refugee education. It's very much in line with our tagline, which is towards sustainability, because education is a huge ingredient, to providing sustainability and independence to refugees. Right now, for the benefit of everyone tuning in, we've got Omar Youcef. Now, Omar is currently the director of Refugee Network Center Malaysia, working on skills training. He's got 7 years experience in social work and advocacy for refugee rights in local and international organizations. Recently, an activist focusing on education for all refugees and health access for those with chronic diseases. Welcome, Omar.
Welcome, Azra, and
Right,
thank you
and
for the invitation.
I have to say that Omar, you and I, we've known each other for many years now. I would say, right from our early days at Carefugees, and we have collaborated successfully on several projects over the years. Yeah.
I guess I first met you on the 2015 when I
Ah,
started with the MSRI.
right,
It's the year I started with the Malaysian Social Research Institute, and
right.
we've been collaborating in different projects, food support, health support for refugees, and so recently, like education too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. How are you doing, Omar? How was your day today?
I'm good. I'm good. I was today. I mean, in regards to education, today I was also discussing education with several potential partners. It's all about having the refugees to get access to education.
Wonderful. And together with us, Ridwan, this is the first time we're sort of, working together this way. And Ridwan Hassan, you are the education manager at the Somali Refugee Community School. Now, Carefugees has had many events together with the Somali Refugee Center in Gomba. And you are in charge of the education program at the center and also the single mothers program, I see. And you've got 7 years, just like Omar. Yeah, Omar has 7 years, and you too have. You've got 7 years experience in teaching and in social welfare work for the refugee community, which includes women and children's rights. Welcome, Ridwan. That sounds very impressive. Welcome to our show
you.
tonight. And then,
Thank
how are
you.
you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. I'm glad to meet you. I was work with you. I seen long time for the office and collaborating with you. But now I'm happy to talk to you tonight, you and Mr. Emil also. Thank
How
you
was
so
your
much.
day today? How was your day today?
Nice. What you and everything. So good.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's start with Omar. Omar, you are can you tell us a little bit more about your involvement with the Save the Somali School in Gomba? Just tell us a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I've been involved in education for refugees a while ago, but in 2019, right before the pandemic, I started volunteering for the Safe School for Refugees. It is a school for refugees in Gombak, consisting of mainly Somalis, but also other nationalities like Yemen, Myanmar, Pakistan, different nationalities. It used to be only for Somalis, but the recent years we opened for multi-nationalities too. So I started with the Safe Schools because they requested my support to help them with the financial issues. You know, this school is a big investment in the kids, but also needs a lot of materials and finance, and so we can have a good education for refugees. This is how I started with Safe School, and I came up with a program that I called Educational Sponsorship for Refugees. So I got too many donors, including Carefugees, to sponsor a few students. Carefugees sponsored about 22 students last year for a period of 6 months, and some others for a period of a year. And it's been successful so far. And this is the second year that we are continuing with this sponsorship program. It allows refugees to continue education without interruption, without burdening their families, and also without burdening the school, because if parents cannot pay school fees, the school will no longer operate. And if the school stops operating, then the kids lost the place they get education in. So it's a win-win-win situation for everyone, actually, for the kids, for the parents, and for the school. Yeah, this is how I got involved with Safe School.
Wonderful. As you pointed out, Carefugees is involved in sponsoring of students at Safe School. And last year we had, as you said, 21 or 22 students. Some were sponsored for a duration of 6 months, while others close to a year. And I'll update you on our plans for this year at the end of this session. Yes, let's go over to Ridwan. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved at the community school for the Somali Refugee Center, and what is it like being there?
Yeah, the school was established in 2018. The Somali Refugee Center also is the center of where the refugees come, talk for everything, and not only Somali refugees, also the other refugees who stay in contact. So we had a lot of the parents complain about the school. The children doesn't have a school because of the go back is the refugees are so many, but the schools are little bit, like 3 to 4 schools. So that is when we went to establish for the Somali Refugee School in 2018. So we get for some survey, we did it, we come up for some students, they don't have any in school, and they are long list, waiting list for other schools to wait until they still. And the problem is that children, they don't have education, they don't have access for the language. They're different. They speak in Arabic or in Somali, but they don't know in English also. The parent is same. So then we start for the Somali Refugee Community Office when we get for the space and we can up. So we get some fundraising in 2018. So the student who started was around 50 students was open. For 2018 and 2019, we had the sponsorship for also for some organization. They responded for the 50 students. And that is why we ran out until 2018 to the 2020, the earliest. But since 2020 and 2021, we did not have any support, but still we are continuing the school. Today, the students who are learning in Somali refugee community are 95 students. And we have the problem for the payment of that one. For every challenge is there, but still is the main thing is to get the child education. That is our main. Yes, we know that is what we are continuing it. So the students who are staying in the school now and taking for are 90 students for the different community. Somali, Yemenis, also Myanmar is there. yeah, the main are Somali, but we have Yemenis, we have Syrian, and we have Myanmar.
So, how many students are there at this Somali school now, Ridwan? How many students?
Now it's 95 students.
95, and when you started, it was 50.
It was 50, yes.
Yeah, so that's
And
almost.
then we get for also for the pandemic, some students drop out the school because of the pandemic and where we went for the all problems. But now we are getting for the end of this, we are waiting to have around 100 or above because of we are getting for some minimal people are joining the school.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
And what's the age range of the students? From how old to how old?
The age range is from 5 years to 13 years.
And what are the subjects they study there? What do they
The subject is, the basic subjects, English, math, science, arts, and some Islamic.
All right, okay. Omar, what about the Safe School? How many students have you got, and what's the age range there?
Safe School, I guess they about 120 students, and the subjects are quite the same. The English, math, science, and I guess IT they have, and art. Yeah, but this year we are starting IGCSE preparation class. So we got 20 students who are, preparing for IGCSE. For next year, they will sit for the exam. So we have an intensive program for the IGCSE students. We will be starting on the 3rd of February next month. So because when students get to the age, you asked me about the age is like from kindergarten from 5 to up to 20. And those old students, they can't sit for any class. And that's the reason why we are having this IGCSE class. Some refugee schools, they don't take those age students because they say your age doesn't allow you to stay for IGCSE. For us, we say it's an opportunity for them to get a key to higher education. So we got good qualified teachers, and we are starting next month, inshallah.
Wonderful. Omar, I want you to outline for our listeners out there, why is education for our refugee children here in Malaysia important? Just give us an outline.
Education is a basic human right now. Everyone has the right to access to education, to learn, to have a knowledge. Otherwise, we can't break this cycle of poverty, cycle of problems and unskilled people. The future is for those who have education, those who have the skills. And now we are entering the technology era where everything is about data, IT, programming, big data, and all these things. So we need to prepare the refugees for the future. Being a refugee it should not be an obstacle. Being a refugee should not be a punishment for the kids. If their families or the situation in their own countries got bad, then they should not be the ones who pay the price. We should allow for them to have education, and then so they can have a key to the future. They can have their own keys at their own hands, and they can have access to formal education, then higher education. Then they can secure a very good high paid jobs. They can contribute to the future, because denying refugees access to education is the biggest crime against them. It's not just a legal thing, like you say, we don't have a legal frame that allows the refugees to go to education. It's a big issue. Even from Malaysia, if refugees are in school, kids are in school, it's way better for the Malaysian than when the refugees are not out of school, because out of school means crimes, means drugs, means disease, means a lot of things. So it's just similar to the local. If you are not in school, you are in trouble. Educated refugees can benefit the Malaysian economy better than uneducated refugees. If we're talking about resettlement, if they are resettled to another country, they have the keys. They can immediately, engage in the community, contribute to the community, and for the betterment of their own families. So I can't see any I don't see why refugees should not get education. If we can't get it through a government, for example, then everyone in the community should play a role in getting the refugees the education. They're not asking for much.
Just like any child, right? Every child deserves an education. Every child. No child should be left behind.
Yes.
Right. Ridwan, just walk us through some of the challenges you faced, in your line of work dealing with refugee education. The difficulty encountered.
The challenges is so many when you are working for the refugee. There's the refugee child, which is able to get for the basic education where is they supposed to get. Even we have the problems starting from the house, the school, the teachers, the other students, all of them. So the problems is like the child, he doesn't have a basic life in house. Maybe he's suffering, he's having a problem. Then he's seen like another student with that same age go in the school, which are wearing uniform and going for in the government school, but he cannot go. Then he asks you about why this child going that or why not I. So you have also to tell them for the community. For the coming the school is, we know our school is for the refugee school is the basic, the building is not supposed to be school. The students are going up to climb for the stairs. So you don't know, a child for the 5 years to 6 years climbing along the stairs. So you cannot know whatever happened for the child. But when we go inside for the classes of the schools, we have the teachers. No one knows the quality of that teachers. Yes, we are the teachers, but we are not same the government teachers. We are not same for the a teacher who is working for the government school. So the children, we don't know which teacher is supposed to teach for this class, for these students. And we know the students are going around all the more problems. Maybe they are having domestic violence, okay, they come for the books. Also, we have a problem for the syllabus. Most of the schools, they do for the changing and keep charging for the syllabus for the schools because of the management or something for the problem. For other things is the teachers. Teachers are also refugees. Even if not refugee, you have to pay for that teacher. Where the resources are coming from the child. That child is a refugee. His mother or his father are suffering to get the basic life, like rental, food, or that. He cannot pay for the 20 or 50. For the end of the month, the teacher is one to pay. But you, as a principal, you cannot give the teacher for something because of the problem. Even you cannot say the child to stay at home if he cannot pay. Because the child, if he's paying or not, he have right to education. Whether it's a refugee or not, you have to educate the child. So that's the main problem for the financial. Why we face the problem is the financial. We cannot say no education for you, stay at home. You are not paying for the fees. And the teacher is waiting us to pay. So where are we getting for the money? That is the problems we face. Yeah.
You made a very important point, Ridwan, that just because the child cannot afford the fees, You can't make him stay home, right? You can't tell him. I mean, I think that would be cruel to tell the child, all right, you know what, you can't pay the fees, so stay home. That would be cruel, right? And
Yeah.
this, unfortunately, this is the sad reality that many refugee students face.
Yeah.
The inability to pay fees, and as a result, not being allowed to go to school, right? And
Mhm.
it's such a simple solution, yet it is not one that is easy to come. When the child pays his fees, he goes to school, teachers get paid, schools start running, the entire
Yeah.
system, an ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is a
Yeah.
simple solution in a way, but it's still not
Mhm.
easy to come by, right? Which is why I think, I mean, this is one area Carefugees would really, really love to work with our supporters and donors out there. Come forward and extend your helping hand, right? By offering to sponsor students' fees and keeping children in school. That is so, so important. Omar, on that note, can you describe to us the transformation that you have seen in children when they attend school regularly, and exposure to knowledge and interaction with their peers? What are some of the transformations you've seen in these children, Omar?
Um, the first thing is that children, they actually like school more than staying home. I mean, we know that some people, they don't like school, but for children, during the pandemic, they keep asking us, when can we get back to school? Because we are like stuck home, and we don't want to do, like, we don't want any longer to stay at home. That means it gives them a meaning. It gives them a social environment that gives them like friends and teachers. It gives them interaction with the others. Plus, you see students, refugees who speak very good English and perform very well in math. For example, they like science, and you hear like some kids talk about they want to be a doctor, some they want to be an engineer, and others they have dreams because they can see that now they can learn, even though it's not like a really perfect setting, but still they are learning. And I guess nobody should be deprived from that this right. I mean, this enjoyment. Kids are enjoying coming to school. And I remember the reason why we started this IGCSE program, because the kids saying, now we finished this grade 9 and 10. Where are we going next? What do you want us to do next? So said, yeah, it's a waste. If those 9 years or 8 years or 10 years they studied in school, and it goes for nothing, they just go to the street or find a job or go get married. No, it's a waste. So giving them, if they are willing to continue getting education, learning, why not? So this is something you can see the change when they are talking about they wanted to serve as that, they wanted to serve the community, they wanted to give that to community, they wanted to be a pilot, or they wanted to be a doctor. You can see that something changed in them. Something in them has changed, because before they don't even dream of having a school. Now they are in school, and the big burden is on the communities themselves. A lot of these centers and learning centers is set up by the communities themselves, because they themselves know the importance of their children getting education. And unfortunately, I have to agree with the Ridwan, Sister Ridwan, that if the child cannot pay, you have no right to say stay home, because we are not a for-profit organizations or schools. The main reason behind doing all this is to get our children to have education, a good education, and good education comes with a cost. A lot of people think that since it's a refugee, then give him anything. He's just a refugee, just give them anything. And this is something I really don't agree with. We need to like go for the I'm not saying for the very fancy thing, but for the norms.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can do that actually, and I know if we show how serious are we about education, giving education to the refugees and skilling them, then I think the community is going to for the past year, Carefugees and many individuals have contributed to our program, and nobody knew who are these students actually. Yes, we share the names and all, but they just for the sake of this giving these children education. And but I think I mean, very sad that some governments are denying the children to get education because they don't have the legal status.
Yeah.
It is very sad, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that is a sad reality that we have in many parts of the world. Yeah, yeah, not just here, but in many other parts of the world. And I think, Omar, you hit the nail on the head, right? When a child goes to school and is educated in more ways than one, education isn't just what they learn in school, but just being in a school environment, you're learning so much. It gives them purpose. It gives them goals to attain and to achieve, right? And I have to commend the various refugee communities for stepping up and establishing these schools, right? From scratch. Almost all of them have started these schools from scratch, and they're doing their best. But the reality is they do need a helping hand from the rest of us, right? They do need that. So on that note, Ridwan, can I just ask you very quickly, just what's your hope to, our listeners out there, they're listening in. What's your hope? What's your aspiration? What would you like us? How can we help? Just very quickly, wrap it up, Ridwan.
My hope is every child to get education, to get the right education, not only the basic education. Now what we are providing is the basic education until primary school, but most of them, they don't have secondary in the way they in Umar said. And also the university, no, nothing. So my hope is from the bottom to top to get for the education for the children, because they are right. They have to have, that is their right. So we are hoping, we are willing to give them the basic education way they need, inshallah.
Wonderful, Ridwan and Omar. It's been a wonderful session with both of you. I can feel your energy, your hope and your passion for this cause. Not just the refugee cause, but the education aspect of our children, right? And I would just like to say here that Carefugees will be sponsoring the primary students of the Somali Refugee Community Center School. I believe there are 12 primary students, so we'll be sponsoring 12 students for this whole year, the entire year. And for the Safe School, we will continue the sponsorship of another 10 students for the rest of this year to begin with. Yeah, this is our commitment to begin with, and inshallah, the more funds we raise, the bigger commitment we can make moving forward.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so
Right.
much.
And
Thank
now,
you so much. Thank you so much.
it's our
So appreciative of
responsibility.
you.
Yeah, it's actually a collective responsibility on all our parts. Yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine the benefits that it brings to by just helping to keep a child in school is an amazing thing. Inshallah. Thank you very much, Ridwan and Omar, for joining us tonight, for making the time, and I really enjoyed our conversation. And inshallah, we will meet again. Things are opening up, so inshallah, we'll be, meeting each other face to face soon. Yeah. And have a good evening, and thank you again. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much also for all care refugees.
Thank you.